Welcome to another episode of What is Hashimoto's with Dr. Martin Rutherford. To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com. And now, here's Dr. Rutherford.
Okay, impact of adrenal exhaustion on Hashimoto's. Bear with me on this one. This one might be a few minutes longer. I'll try not to make it too long. Okay, because when I first got into functional medicine, it was, you can't fix the adrenals, you can't fix anything. There's a smidgen of truth to that. There's some truth to that, but the reality is the adrenals get the snot kicked out of them like every day, all day long. And it's not stress. It's partially stress. And let me even refine that. What I meant to say was it's not particularly mental stress. Everything that happens in your system that creates inflammatory responses and puts you out of balance causes a stress on your adrenal glands. Okay, and so your adrenal glands are affected by food sensitivities. They are affected by leaky gut. They are affected by lipopolysaccharides. They are affected by small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. They're affected by any type of an infection. They are affected by any type of a chemical sensitivity. And in a lot of the Hashimoto's patients, they're affected by overexercising. They're affected by not sleeping enough. They're affected by not being too sedentary. I could go on for a long time with all the things that create a stress on the body that forces your adrenal glands to either put out stress hormones, which is adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine, noradrenaline. It can put out cortisol, which is the one that everybody seems to be really familiar with today. Everybody's familiar with cortisol now, as they should be. They can put out cortisol, and cortisol knows it's a stress hormone. But it's also before it's an inflammatory hormone, it's actually an anti-inflammatory hormone before it becomes too much. And it also helps to control your blood sugar. It also helps to control all your sex hormones if you're in menopause, and prior to menopause, it's a secondary repository for making sex hormones. So your adrenals do a lot. And they are affected by all that. You go through menopause, and you're going through menopause really badly, and you're having a bad time, you have bad adrenals. But your estrogen imbalances and progesterone imbalances, they're also screwing up your adrenals. So the point is, when I attack a case, if the person has adrenal fatigue, and I hate that term, but that's a term that a lot of people like to use. Okay, or adrenal exhaustion, it's just hypoadrenal function. The adrenals they're like a little factory. Somebody says, I need these hormones. They put them out, 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 and all of a sudden, they only have so much hormones that they can put out, and they are amazingly regenerative, I might add, the adrenals. So really, the adrenals are how do they affect Hashimoto's, or how does Hashimoto's affect them? Okay, I really see it as when I'm treating somebody. So most people who are asking these questions are looking for a solution. Most people who are asking these questions are already taking some sort of an adrenal. There's so many different types of adrenal products out there, and which ones have adaptocrines in them, and which ones have licorice in them, and which ones have cow adrenals in there, and those types of things. Okay, but really, the answer is you want to take care of all the other things first. And one of the top other things you want to take care of first is the thyroid. And in autoimmune disease, there's kind of an order as to the way you attack it. So if you have autoimmune thyroid disease, you have to attack the things that are affecting your thyroid first, which could be a lot of these things. They can be food sensitivities, leaky gut, small intestinal bacteria. You have to attack those first. Those will then create a much more stable thyroid function, which then altogether will take the pressure off of your adrenals. And the thyroid is more of they affect each other, no doubt about it. But in my observations, the thyroid is much more of a drag on the adrenals than the adrenals are on the thyroid. So I go after the thyroid first. If it's autoimmune thyroid, I go after that first. And then I might, if the person's really, 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 really stressed, I might give them some adaptocrines or whatever. There's a dozen ways you can, or more, that you can go after the adrenals. But if you're going after the adrenals, well, all the other metabolic negativity is going on and putting pressure on it. It's not very effective. So to me, the vicious cycle between the thyroid and the adrenals is more the body and the adrenals is more all these other things causing the adrenals go down. Taking care of that first. Now, once you get that under control, if the adrenals are not coming along, now is when I'll really hit them with whatever your preference is. Well, I shouldn't say whatever your preferences is, because there's a reason they use different things, like licorice for some and not for others, and adaptocrines for some and not for others, and glandulars for some and not for others. There's adrenal issues that glandulars are never going to help in a million years. So, but at that point, then the adrenals become very available. So once you start getting the thyroid, because the thyroid has receptor sites in every single cell in your body, every single cell, okay? And so, and there's a more comprehensive effect on the body than many of the adrenal functions, with the exception of adrenaline. Adrenaline, just your whole body goes into fight, flight, and it's affected in a variety of different ways. But I would say in general, there is this. The thyroid will if your thyroid's in hypothyroid, it's going to slow your adrenals down. Your adrenals is already being beat up by everything else, and now it's like you're not going to get your adrenals better by giving it some sort of a you might buy a supplement, but you might see it improve if you fix your thyroid. Even if you got a thyroid medication that brought your hypothyroid into balance, that could help your adrenals. On the other hand, the adrenals, they can go into fight flight, and they certainly can affect your adrenals. But adrenal fatigue is a lot. I guess my point is, for adrenal fatigue, oh my God, there's so many things that are causing adrenal fatigue. But and there's so many things that are causing thyroid. But if you get the thyroid right, you can make a huge difference in the adrenals when all these other things are going on. But in the reverse part, you really have to take care of most of the other triggers and metabolic issues that are beating that adrenal down before you're going to get that under control. So I would say that's the relationship between thyroid and adrenal. There is a relationship, but I would say the relationship is more the thyroid really affecting the adrenals than vice versa relative to a long-term type of a recovery.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What is Hashimoto's? To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com.